Hello game gamers, welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Captain.
I'm Lynn.
And today we're going to be doing our wrap-up for Adepticon 2023, talking about our takeaways, our impressions of it, and we're also going to be doing our haul. We didn't get enough things at this convention to do a full separate haul video, so we're kind of combining the two. But yeah, this was our first time going to Adepticon 2023 and checking it out, and we're going to discuss our thoughts on it. So, Lynn, let me start by asking you, what are the big takeaways you had for going for a couple of days to Adepticon this year?
Well, it was a lot easier to maneuver around than a bigger convention.
Well, because it is kind of smaller, and there's a fair amount of room. There was a good amount of room, I would say. It's the same kind of thing I get when I go to PAX Unplugged. The hallways are pretty wide. There's lots of room to maneuver. It was definitely better on Sunday because we went on Thursday and Sunday. Thursday was busier and was a little harder, but I would agree with that. My first big takeaway is war games. Now, this is a place where Lynn and I are going to differ a little bit because we were already talking about this, but now we can discuss some of it on camera. While the convention did have a couple of companies selling board games, and they had some independent retail companies selling board games from lots of companies, mostly, the vast majority of the stuff there was miniatures, paint, hobby supplies, and war games. A lot of like tabletop miniature war games, think Battletech, Warhammer, and lots of other smaller games in that sort of area, which I don't play Warhammer anymore. I'm still super into Battletech, but I had a lot of interest for the smaller war games. I thought a lot of that was cool. But if you're a more light game fan, like you like little card games and lighter end board games, this might not be the con for you. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with that.
Because like you like a lot of hardcore games, but you don't like the tabletop miniature games as much. So you found it less appealing than I did.
Yeah. If you're not into
war games,
then you probably won't have a good time.
See, like, because we were discussing afterwards, and I said, oh, I would go again next year. There were a lot of really cool war games that I liked, but then you said...
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't go. So that's the important thing there is this convention, Adepticon, very much focuses in primarily on the tabletop miniature games and tabletop miniature war games. They had some tabletop miniature games that weren't necessarily like war games. They had a lot of skirmish games, and they also had some that combined like skirmish with like role-playing elements and stuff, but very much tabletop miniature games were the main focus. That said, there were other things. There was a lot of paint supplies and hobby supplies, and there were some board game stuff, but that definitely was in the minority. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes.
Okay, so what's your next big takeaway from the con?
Well, it was also a lot easier to get food, even during like the lunch hour.
Yeah, they actually had a decent amount of like food stands and also the cafe and the restaurant.
Yeah, it's in a hotel. So there's the hotel restaurant and then the hotel like Starbucks, because every restaurant seems to have a Starbucks. And then they also had like, just a little makeshift cafe area on the bottom floor by the entrance. And there was like a burrito place that looked like it was makeshift too, like a makeshift burrito place. Yeah. And also in the event hall where people were playing games and where the like exhibitors were, they also had concessions in there that was open.
Yes.
So there were lots of choices, and even when we went to lunch at like noon, it wasn't that bad.
No, we went to eat at the restaurant on Thursday, and the restaurant was nice. I had a beer, I had a nice lunch. It felt quality. Like, granted, you had to shell out a bit more if you want to go to the restaurant than just getting like the quick food at the stand. They had a couple of
pretzels, hot dogs. I like concession stuff.
But we went and had nice food, and it felt better. It felt higher quality. You had to pay more, but it felt worth it. Like and they had a fun like they had a fun mix of like special menu items that were named after stuff from Warhammer. Like I had Chaos Poutine, which was delicious. It was really good. So yeah, I mean that was cool. I agree with you. The food thing was definitely good. My next big takeaway is that for a quote unquote smaller convention, this felt bigger than I was expecting. The lot was packed every day. It was hard to find parking. It was so busy. There were over 100 different booths selling things, both in the exhibit hall and out. And there were a ton of people there, and there were big halls full of people playing games, which we didn't get to get in on any gaming events. If I were to go again, I would make sure to get on a gaming event some days, because the thing is, like, the exhibit hall, you don't need more than a day walking around the exhibit hall, because it's only around 100 exhibitors. You don't need more than a day to check all that out. If you're just going to shop, it's free entry, which is amazing. So if you're just going to shop, you can go one day, free entry, walk around the exhibit hall, do your shopping, and that's
or
cool.
go every day, and it's still free.
It's still free. Yeah, but you don't need more than a day, is what I'm saying.
No, you don't.
You might want to come back Sunday, because a lot of them were doing like 20% off, 30% off, to try to sell stuff they didn't want to have to pay to ship back to their headquarters. But there was a lot of event stuff going on, and I think I would try harder. I tried to get in on some BattleTech stuff. I wasn't able to get in on the BattleTech events I wanted to. But I think I would try harder to look like right around when the events get released, to get in on some of those events next time. But yeah, it definitely felt bigger than I was expecting. Would you agree with that? Because I was expecting like a tiny little hotel convention. It kind of was bigger than that.
I didn't really have any expectations, because I hadn't been there, so.
Oh, you just went with zero expectations.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking something smaller. Like, we went to HoosierCon one year, and HoosierCon's pretty tiny. Mm-hmm. It's a single hotel convention. Granted, that's a hotel that is not also a convention center. This is a hotel and convention center. But I was thinking something the size of HoosierCon, and then we went in, and I'm like, oh no, this is significantly larger than HoosierCon. Like, this was like, it was pretty sizable. There was a lot of people. There were a lot of events, a lot of stuff going on. I kind of dug it. Anything else? Any other big takeaways you have from the convention?
I don't think so.
Anything else you wanted to talk about, though?
No, not really.
All right. So those are our big takeaways. So I would say definitely, if you want to go to shop, you can just go one day, or maybe also come back on Sunday, or maybe Sunday is your one day. If you're looking to get stuff before it sells out, though, you might want to go on Thursday, maybe come back on Sunday. You really only need one day to shop, though, if you don't need to get discounts, that is. If you're looking to do a lot of events, maybe go all weekend. But yeah, very much big on the wargaming stuff. All right, so let's go through our haul of things. Do you want to go first or second?
I only seem to have two things.
Yeah, I only really have two things too. These are groups of things.
Okay, it's groups.
Yeah, I have two groups. I gave you. Yeah, I split it up two and two.
I don't know. I'll do this one.
All right, so that is. Go ahead.
It's a big map.
It is indeed. Let's take it out. So, go ahead. Push my way. There we go. There we go. Yeah.
Are you gonna get this back in there or no?
We don't need. It doesn't need to be. We can just roll it up and put it in the corner. So this is a really cool mat that we picked up. Go ahead. Do you wanna? Because you picked it out actually.
Oh. Well, he was talking to the dude trying to get suggestions for maps that would be good for Wings of Glory. And I was just looking at all of them, and I was like, oh, hey, what about this one?
Yeah, Lynn picked it out. Even though she doesn't play Wings of Glory, she picked it out. And I was like, oh, that one looks really cool. It looks like you got some, like, ruins.
You got, like, grass. You got, like, rubble. I mean, I think it's supposed to be, like, a broken-up roadway, but, I mean, it looks like rubble.
Yeah, no, and it looks really cool. And actually, I really liked it, so I wound up getting it to be for that purpose. So totally. Lynn picked it out. But picked it out for me and for a game that I play that she doesn't play. So that's why that's the only reason I gave it to you, because you was for that reason. So here we go. And I'm just going to put this to the side for the moment. My first one I have to show is I picked up some BattleTech maps. So I picked up the two of the Strana Mech-T BattleTech neoprene double-sided maps, and the reason is the Strana Mech-T maps, one side has the Bloody Basin, the other has the Circle of Equals. Let me show the picture of what they look like there. And the Bloody Basin is there. The Circle of Equals, it's only half of the Circle of Equals per map, so I got two of them so I can make the full Circle of Equals, and that is really cool. I also picked up as another mat, I picked up this particular BattleTech mat, which has like a moonscape on one side and the grassy area with the base on it on the other side. Now I have the grass area and the base in paper, but I don't have the moonscape in paper. And rather than just get that in paper, I thought it'd be really cool to get that in the neoprene mats as well. So that is my next thing is some BattleTech mats that I got.
And then we got a Gunfight Royale.
Now this was a review copy. Yes, I was talking to the designer of the game, very nice chap, and he was showing me both this and the same company also puts out like a miniature skirmish game, Wild West themed miniature skirmish game. And he offered me a review copy of this one, and I know how much Lynn loves Wild West games. Mm-hmm. Is that's up there as like probably one of your top 5 favorite themes? Am I right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll get Lynn to play this with me, no problem, because it's Wild West themed. It's a shootout in the Wild West, and that's like right up your alley. There's also a Dirty Tricks deck, which I imagine Lynn is going to love, right?
I don't know.
I can see that you're gonna like this one.
Disparaging my character.
How is that disparaging your character? It's totally what you're into. All right, and then the next thing, another review copy. We got actually. I wasn't expecting to get any review copies at this convention. I was just expecting to look around, and then we wound up getting 2 review copies, which was really, really cool. I took, because I talked to some companies. Some other people said they might contact us back to possibly send us review copies in the future, but 2 different people actually gave us ones there. And this is a game I'm very excited to try out, Arena Rex. So here is a little print rule book for the revised edition of Arena Rex. It is a gladiator-style skirmish game. I was given 2 starter sets for 2 different factions in the universe. Each one has 3 guys in it, 3 fighters. This is the Ludus Magnus set, and the other one I was given was the Morituri, which are kind of like an Egyptian-styled faction. I was given their set, as well as they gave me the faction dice, custom dice for each of them to use, and a big monster that you could set up as a monster with a rider, but you can also play the game with just like a monster in the arena as a neutral creature that could attack both factions. And then also they gave me an awesome, huge playmat of, looks like the Roman Colosseum. I'm not going to pull this out right this second. But yeah, it's a big playmat of the Roman Colosseum to check this out. I have to paint these guys up, and I'm planning to do some content on Arena Rex coming soon. So there you have it. That's everything we brought back from Adepticon. Anything else you want to say on it?
Not really.
No? So, all right. So there you have it. Again, that was our takeaways from the convention, plus all the things we actually brought back from the convention. So stay tuned. At some point, we will have some content coming on these couple of review copies we were given, Gunfight Royale and Arena Rex. And then, of course, at some point when I get around to filming some more battle reports for BattleTech, I might be using some of these mats with them. We'll see. Actually got to play a game of BattleTech the other day with Matt, but we didn't film it because we were playing with some mechs that were not painted, so it wouldn't look as nice on camera. But there you have it. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see us do more like it, be sure to give it a like, share it on all forms of social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Captain. That's Captain spelled with a K on YouTube. And until next time, game on.